Welcome back to Not Alone with Melissa Sue Methvin. Today, I want to start first with some breath work. So join me by putting a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. And we're going to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth. So close your eyes and start with me. So inhale through the nose and a long exhale. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Now, not only this helps me stay grounded as I'm going to be talking about my new book, but it also helps us stay in heart coherence because I know how hectic life can be. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode today, because this one, again, is rooted deep into my own personal life and my own health journey and just what I've observed, because I truly feel our stories are meant to be shared, not to create more fear, but to create just this little gentle nudge. I always say planting that seed without the overwhelm. That's the last thing that I'd want, is to overwhelm you with information, but more bring awareness that how important your nervous system is for every aspects of your life. Because we can't heal when our nervous system is in fight and flight. We often think, okay, if I do this next protocol, this next diet, this next just cleanse, then I'll feel safe to heal after. But I've realized through my own observation that if the nervous system is not regulated first, these protocols, they won't work. They will not heal the root cause, and oftentimes it's your nervous system. And also my book, The Gut-God Connection, is my own health journey alongside mental health, physical health, mind and body and spirit. It includes my children's stories. It is a continuation of the truth behind the smiles, because I kept on digging and getting more and more curious for mental health, overall well-being, and my own spiritual practice. So this book, what I realized as I was writing it, I've kind of had to restart it at one point because I felt like it was going to create a lot of fear because it was a lot of information health-wise. Then I said, I've got to remove the fear, and because that's the root cause to all these ailments that I've seen in my own life. When I'm in fear, my body couldn't heal, and everything stopped producing properly, like hormones and sleep and constant fatigue. So that's why the foundation of breathwork became vital for me, and using that gift and be able to gift it back to people now, I know how impactful that is in when I want to provide a lot of health information, or people ask me, which cleanse do you recommend? I said, let's start first with your nervous system. I actually do not recommend it if you are in fight and flight. I'm not a doctor, but just through my own observation, if in my own practice, when I was in fight and flight, if I'm going to do a cleanse, then I can have a ton of symptoms. And I saw that in my own children as well. So I've tested these protocols, and I realized that the fear kept that nervous system, that was constant fear, it wasn't ready to heal. So I had to more, like with my kids, work on their nervous system before introducing all these detox protocols for the toxins that they had in their bodies. And I also realized that my body knows how to heal. And so the gut-God connection is actually guiding you back to what God gifted us, our inner knowing of how to heal. But if we never slow down enough, feel safe in our bodies, we can't hear that guidance. So the Gut God blueprint was created out of that, because with all this information, I said, well, people will need to feel safe first. We need to work on their nervous system first. And a lot of it is these shifts, these mental shifts, these breath work is incorporated, prayer, these I am affirmations. These are the foundations that you need to work on first. That's been just grounded in my own story and observation for my children, my family. When we were calm and grounded, then we can move on to other areas in our life for healing. But I also found that my body speaks to me. It knows exactly what it needs and what it lacks. And it's also bridging science. So sometimes I'd wake up and my body was like, oh, this is your low in this. And then I'm like, oh, then I go and get that, whatever that is. But it reminded me that Jesus was teaching us that all along, that we are able to heal ourselves. In learning how to do that, we have to be still enough, and our nervous system can't be in the sympathetic, the fight and flight. We have to be in the parasympathetic, the calm. This is where we can rest and repair. If you can't sleep properly through the night, that's where we repair our mind, body, and spirit. So this is why the nervous system is so important to relax and calm and learn these important tools. We're going to shift on and off from these fight and flight, but you'll learn tools how to recalibrate all the time to come back to groundedness and peace. Ultimately, I want everybody to feel vitality and energy and just live a long life. And there information out there that you need to be aware of. And was what Gut God connection. It just really spoke to me as to what we've moved so far from, listening to our own intuition. How often do you hear, oh, my mother's intuition, she knew something was wrong, but couldn't pinpoint it. Your body will speak first that something's off. And we really have to come back to reconnecting, to learning, to listen, and to sit still enough. And this has been hard for me too, because I know productivity, being busy has always been something that I feel like I'm like more productive. The more busy I am, the more I keep my family busy. But actually, I realize there's more peace, there's more healing in the slowing down. And I get these momentums, but I think having these waves of time of healing, and then you build momentum, but building these practices to recalibrate your nervous system will give you that vitality and that health that you're looking for. And I know there's so many of you out there that have tried it all. And I really feel that fear plays a major role in those blocks to get healthier. So that's why working on the nervous system first, before all these other protocols, is vital. And this is where I dive into my own health journey, and how in the gut, that's where your intuition, this is where, God, for me, this is where I connect with God, and the big breath. And so if your gut is inflamed and out of balance, it is hard to hear the directions to go and to be guided all along. I'm just sharing where I'm trying to guide you back to intuitively healing, to become your own health advocate. And be also trust it. Trust what your body is trying to say, where it's blocked, where it needs help, and what tools are out there. And ultimately, too, I wish I would have known a lot of this information that I write in my book. During my pregnancies, delivery, how many people have had where the trauma of delivery and how this could be just intuitively, you can know the best way you and your baby can deliver together a healthy way without creating fear. There's just so many things that I think fear plays a big factor in the way things are communicated in the medical world, in the health world, and we don't want to create fear. And you have to trust and believe in your innate healing power. I have heard many, many miracle stories, but the miracle stories of healing that I've heard, it was actually them shifting the way they thought about what they were told they had, shifting their mindset, their thought patterns, and truly listening to their gut instinct along the way, their health journey. So this is, I think, the ways we've moved further away from that in society. So I'm trying to guide people back to listening to their body, intuitively healing, because your body knows the way, but also knowing what's out there science-wise that can help you as well. And it's not another protocol. The Gut God Blueprint is actually not another one-size-fits-all protocol. It's actually just a 12-week program where it's self-guided. You can start at any time you want and self-paced, because you might not be ready at the same level as another friend for all these modules. You want to take it at a slow pace, and you want to take time to integrate it, take time to learn how to implement breath work on a weekly basis or even daily. How journaling, the power of words and writing it down, and the power of starting to see these old patterns and how to shed them when you feel safe. This 12-week program is going to guide you through nervous system regulation, through meditations, journaling, breath work, and just some self-reflection. And these tools will allow you to feel safer in the body and calm the nervous system and truly listen to what your body needs. And you'll see that your body will start telling you, this is the type of food that I need. This is what I want. I feel much better with this kind of food. We're all created differently. Not all of us are going to have the same diet to follow. We have different genetics play a role in that. So it is not another little protocol. This is one size fits all. No, I'm just helping you learn to figure out your own protocol. I always said I'm my own science project. So I've tested what works, what kind of diets work better. Certain foods I notice right away. So start observing, get curious with your body. If there little messages, like the body speaks first, and sometimes our mind takes a little while to catch up to what it is. For example, I had this little cyst coming up here on my wrist, and I'm like, well, that's strange. Why is that? What kind of message is that? And a lot of it too is just energy is kind of blocked, and there's been some projects I want to put into place, and they haven't been happening, and so it's just kind of that block, that energy flow is not working. So I know that, and I know I can kind of massage and let it flow and just and relax my body with the breath and massage it and just allow it to know that it's safe. My body is safe and it has the power to heal. And I have to be really mindful of how I speak to my body. So this is all these vital tools that I've noticed from my own health journey as I got more and more curious about realizing how it impacts my mental health and how it impacts my kids' health. I could tell now when their nervous system is so overwhelmed, they're just on that tipping point. They lack patience. They go raging for more sugar, and they just want all the carbs, and they're just finding different ways to regulate. So now I'm trying to make them shift. Okay, well, no, maybe we need some time more in nature. Maybe we need to do some breath work. Maybe we need to do some tapping, humming. There's just so many tools that I think our environment with the neon lights at school where there's just sensory overload. And so I've just realized that actually there's a nervous system lens that we're missing right now. We need to look at the world in a nervous system lens, and we're going to feel a lot more calm and at peace and find vitality and less inflammation and less stress and less fatigue. So this is where I'm just sharing through my own story, and I will be launching my pre-sales for the book very soon here, and I'll be able to share the links and also the Gut God Blueprint waitlist for the 12-week program. This again will be a self-paced and it all nervous system, because here's what I found, that if somebody did start the next cleanse or if it creates so much fear, they can't heal. I've seen that just in the dental community, with dental procedures. If there's so much fear, the body is not going to heal. That's just science. And so working on the nervous system first and finding safety in your own body, you will actually surprise yourself. But by listening to your intuition, you'll be guided to, do I need more nature time? Do I need different nutrition? Do I need to add something in my diet? Do I need supplements? Do I need some science, some medication to help me along the way? Because you can blend both. Science, there's so many wonderful protocols out there now that can help you, guide you along. And so this is where I'm just been always so passionate about health. And sharing the knowledge that I have found over the years for me and my family. So the Gut God Connection is going to be available on Amazon soon here. I keep changing the date because I think sometime in April, but I will have pre-sales soon. And the Gut God Connection Blueprint will also be started soon in April. And I'll just love to hear back from everyone as to what they thought about it, because I truly feel that if we can live with more light and more vitality, we can be so much more present for our loved ones. If I look back at my 97-year-old grandfather and his vitality, if I can bottle that up, that's what I want. And so this has been my mission as to why. Well, what does he have different? What has he been doing differently, and what others have been doing differently, and what have I been doing differently to feel so good right now in my life? And I want that for everybody. So stay tuned for the Gut God Connection coming out soon.